I'm Jerry Preston, and I hope I have the privilege of serving on your charter commission as we look forward to reviewing the commission and possibly revising the city charter. You know, this is an interesting process. The voters last year voted to have the charter commission come forward, and 13 of us decided that it'd be great if we could help improve the city by working on the city charter. You've got the tough job of, well, 4 have to get off the mountain apparently. 4 are going to have to leave the survivor camp and go forward, and I'm hoping that you allow me to stay on and I can be of a help in making the charter commission come together. You know, there's several things the charter commission can do. It can fully amend the charter, it can write a brand new charter, or it can just endorse the existing charter. Whatever the charter commission recommends, the voters ultimately are going to have to approve this. And so what does this mean? It means it's got to be 9 folks that know how to work together and can come up with ideas and find out what really is the right way to make the city work. And how do you do that? I think you've got to learn from people. I think we've got to take a lot of input. I'd like to hear from members of the previous charter commission. Why did they change from one form of government to the other at that time? I'd like to hear from the city council members and see what they think of what's going on, what works well when they get into meetings and what doesn't work well as they refer to the charter. I'd like to hear from city staff members and what they see and what's going on. And I want to hear from citizens. Just, you know, what do you as the citizens feel needs to be worked on, or what could we do better? Service clubs are certainly a way of informing the voters, and I think we've got to, once we get some ideas together, start taking it out and inform the citizens so they can fully understand what's going on with the charter. And possibly a survey of voters might be something that the Charter Commission could do to help us gather this information. One of the things we probably should look at is the 2 recent cities that have gone through charter revision, and that's Dexter and Pontiac. Those cities have just completed or are in the process of completing their charter revisions. And so what makes me a good candidate to do all of this? What are my skills? Well, I've been involved in governance of nonprofit organizations for a long time and helping them with their governance models and things like that. And when the Blue Ribbon Commission was asking people about charter revision, etc., I was a little disappointed, frankly, that it wasn't open to the public and the public could hear the comments that they received so we could help make a better decision ourselves and feel a bit better about it. But I finally wrote a paper that was submitted to the Blue Ribbon Commission on a radical form of government for the city. And while I'm not hard and set in that, it's something to be a thought starter. And so I'd invite you all to go to the city's website, look at the Blue Ribbon Commission report. At the end of that report is my suggestion for a governance model to be looked at for the city. That gives you some idea of the thought that you might want to use as we start pulling together for all of this. Understand that I've held appointed and elected positions in Genesee County and in Washtenaw County and in Quincy, Illinois. I was on the city council there. And so what changes do I have in mind? Well, go look at that Blue Ribbon report. It's hard to go into the detail because it's about 5 pages long, and it spends a lot of time looking at nonprofit models of governance, which usually have fairly large boards that are non-paid, and that kind of gives you a clue as to what you might find when you get there. Understand that, you know, the city council doesn't have to be only 9 members. You know, we have other legislative bodies that have a large number of legislators. Look at the state senate and the federal government, for example. So those might be something that we should consider. But what I want you to really think about is that my mind is truly open to things. I don't have a preconceived notion. I've put out a paper and an idea and a thought starter. But I think it's important that we listen and find out what has worked in other places and what hasn't. What process should be used to accomplish all this? Well, I've talked about that a little bit. I think we need to have numerous days of public hearings and getting public input and using all of that sort of stuff. And how will Flint change when it's all over? Hopefully we'll have a better set of governance so that we never have to have the city go back into an emergency manager or receivership again. Again, my name is Jerry Preston. I hope I have the privilege of serving on your charter commission.